Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Legislative Committee on Administrative Rules. Today, February 26, 2026. Before we get started today, I'll do introductions to my left.
Bradley Showman, Office of Legislative Counsel.
And Representative Mark Kigley from the Orleans-Lamoille District.
Representative Larry Sackler, Maryville. Seth Corngartz from the Bennington Senate District.
Scott Beck, Caledonia Senate District. Senator Dave Weeks, representing Rutland County.
Representative Travis Squirrel, and I represent Underhill and Jericho. And
Lindsay Schreier, Committee Assistant.
okay, thank you. First order of business, the minutes from January 29th, 2026. Motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion to approve from Senator Weeks. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. First rule, and only rule today, Rule 25, P42, Green Mountain Care Board Rule Oversight of Accountable Care Organizations. And on Zoom, we have Mark Hengstler. Did I get that right?
You got it in one.
Okay, you're up.
Okay. Thanks, Representative Squirrel and committee members. For the record, Mark Hengstler. I'm here on behalf of the Care Board this morning with regard to proposed Rule 25P42. This is a final proposed rule which would amend and replace an existing ACO oversight rule at the Care Board. An ACO is an accountable care organization, so that's the oversight responsibility that we're talking about today. For a little background, the Care Board has been regulating accountable care organization operations under its current rule since 2017, so for about 9 years. And that regulation is pursuant to the Accountable Care Organization Oversight Statute, which is at 18 VSA 9382. Recently, Act 62 of 2025 was ratified. This act made substantial amendments to the Care Board's responsibilities in overseeing accountable care organization activities. So this amended rule is necessary to align with the amendments made to the ACO oversight statute and to carry out the board's amended responsibilities under law. For a little bit of background, if useful, an accountable care organization is a network of providers that agree to be accountable for the care and cost of a defined patient population. Under the prior law, state oversight of accountable care organizations was, I think it would be fair to say, designed to accomplish two goals. The first goal was to ensure that ACO operations are regulated in a manner that protects providers and patients. The second goal, under the old law, was to provide the state oversight and influence over a relatively complex state-federal agreement called the all-payer model. And that agreement and Vermont's plan under that agreement was designed with the goal of making significant payment structure changes within Vermont's healthcare system to meet Vermont's affordability, access, and quality goals. So at a high level, what might be kind of helpful to think about here is that this amendment to the law and then this following revision or amendment to the rule it is really about removing the second part of that equation. The all-payer model agreement with Medicare has sunset. The only ACO that was designed around that agreement, OneCare, is winding down and is no longer contracting with any payers or providers. So this rule is designed to carry out the new law, which effectively removes board consideration of those all-payer model goals, but maintains the goal of regulating accountable care organizations in Vermont in a manner that protects patients and providers. And I'm happy to talk more about the details within the rule, but the largest, most substantive change from the current rule to this proposed amended rule is a change to the kinds of accountable care organizations that are certified by the board. In other words, the ACOs that must be certified in order to operate in the state, and the kinds of accountable care organizations that have their budgets reviewed by the care board. One of the big changes, or maybe the biggest change between the current law and the new law, is that there's effectively been a flip where under prior law, all ACOs had their budgets reviewed. Only one care was required to be certified by the care board. Under the new law, the flip is that all ACOs must be certified by the care board, but only those ACOs that contract with Vermont Medicaid or Vermont commercial insurers are subject to the board's budget review authority. So when you see a lot of red lines and changes in placement and text in this rule, a lot of those changes are about making that flip, as well as removing elements of the rule that were more focused on integrating accountable care organization regulation with the prior state federal agreement. I'm happy to provide any other information or answer any questions about this proposed rule.
Thank you. We had a memo from you dated February 24 with some modifications to the rule. I believe these were in response to Ledge Council's review of the rule. Jen Carby is the person, Ledge Council. Were you happy with the changes they've made and responded back to us?
Jen Kirby, Legislative Council. Yes, we've worked, and I've worked with my Ledge Council colleagues and with Mark, and I've worked. I think that's
Okay. All right. And Mark, do you want to make any additional comments with the changes you made, or?
No additional comments outside of the memo, except for true appreciation for the diligence of Ledge Council to look through this closely and help us identify some changes. I believe this proposed rule is stronger than it was prior to Ledge Council review. So we really appreciate the support on that.
Committee members, questions, comments? Not seeing any. No motion?
We approve 25P042 Greenhouse Care Board GMCB Rule 5, oversight of accountable care organizations for the changes proposed on February 24th, 2026, as outlined in a memo dated February 24th, 2026.
Okay, we have a motion from Senator Beck to approve the rule as amended. Representative Higley.
Mr. Chair, I do have one question. I just looked it up. I reached out to a few CEOs of hospitals. And one of the comments was, and maybe you're more familiar, I tried to find it in the reading, but the question I've got, or they've got, is why do you have oversight over patient safety? And they're considering that the role should be of the healthcare advocate. So I'm not sure you can answer that, Mark, but that's the question and concern.
Thanks for the question. I'm happy to answer it. The reason that we have the oversight we do is the legislature gave us that oversight. So one of the criteria that the board is required to consider when deciding whether an ACO can be certified for operation in the state is criteria about patient safety, about effectively ensuring that the ACO's operations are not inconsistent with the principle that, for example, providers will make medical decisions with their patients, and the ACO will not be doing so. That's it. Just for clarity, the Office of the Healthcare Advocate is very involved in the care board's process. The Office of the Healthcare Advocate reviewed this rule when it was presented at a few public care board meetings, and the Healthcare Advocate's office was happy with the rule as written, recommended no changes. The board certification actions and its budget review actions are public processes, and they're processes under which the care board is actually required to provide all documents to the Office of the Healthcare Advocate, so that the Healthcare Advocate's office can make recommendations or alert the public of anything that appears concerning.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mark. Okay. I think that's all we have for today. We will be meeting next on March 19th. Okay, so a few more weeks. And we have 4 rules that day, so we'll be starting at 8 o'clock. The first 2 rules are the RBs and the CBs. These are modifications being proposed relative to the executive order from the governor regarding housing. So I think there'll be some controversy around those rules, around the rule and discussion around that. So anyway, with that, seeing any new business?
Yeah, just a comment on that. Wondering, we got our packets of the residential building energy standards and so on. Is there a reason that there's no changes, my understanding is, but why do we receive the whole packet again? I mean, it just seems repetitive in the sense that we've already got it. If you wanted it again, you could get it, but
I haven't looked at it yet,
Okay.
so I'm not.
my understanding is there's no changes in the rules, correct?
Other than the fact that it's an either or, right? I mean, that's
Right.
basically what the change is. So that is what they submitted to us.
Yeah. Okay, fine. No, just curious.
Any other questions, comments?